Shifting focus now, India and the United States have signed a framework agreement to expand defense cooperation over the next 10 years. The pact was announced after a meeting between U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, or Secretary of War as he's called, and his Indian counterpart Rajnath Singh in Kuala Lumpur on the sidelines of the ASEAN Defense Ministers' meeting. The agreement is expected to provide policy direction to the entire spectrum of India-U.S. defense relationship. It is the latest in a series of agreements that the two countries have signed. This also follows commitments that were made by US President Donald Trump and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in February this year to enhance cooperation both in defense and on trade. So what are the key takeaways of this long defense deal? First things first, the deal aims to boost India's military logistics, production and technology transfer. This will further amplify indigenous production and defense modernization. AI-based warfare projects, R&D and intel sharing will play a crucial role in sharpening this structure. Remember, the key focus of this deal is stability in the Indo-Pacific region. Military collaboration and joint initiatives that are listed in this pact will play a vital role in countering China's influence in the Indo-Pacific region, and that's extremely important for India, given the circumstances.
3 बार टेलीफोनिक वार्ता हमारी हो चुकी है और जब आपसे एडीएम के साइडलाइंस पर व्यक्तिगत रूप से मिलकर मुझे बेहद खुशी हुई है और इस अवसर पर डिफेंस फ्रेमवर्क की शाइनिंग मैं समझता हूं कि उसके परिणाम स्वरूप आज एक नए अध्याय का प्रारंभ होगा और मेरा पूरा विश्वास है कि आपकी लीडरशिप में भारत और यूएस के रिश्ते और अधिक मजबूत होंगे।
And this new 10-year defense framework which we signed is ambitious. It's a significant step for our two militaries, a roadmap for deeper and even more meaningful collaboration ahead. It underscores America's long-term commitment to our shared security and our strong partnership between.
Now, the 10-year pact is a big boost to India's defense prowess. But what is the status of the acquisition and the deals that have already been inked between the two countries over the last few years? In 2021, a deal worth $716 million was inked between the two countries with a target of acquiring 99 F-404 engines for Tejas Mark 1. However, only 4 engines so far have been received. In 2020, India finalized a deal to procure 530 Stryker infantry combat vehicles from the United States. That pact unfortunately stood stalled in 2024 amid diplomatic controversies. The deal was eventually approved again in January this year. However, there has been no procurement so far and we are towards the fag end of the year. The deal on the Sky Guardian drones that was finalized last year aimed at receiving 31 drones from the United States at a cost of $3.5 billion. However, that procurement currently is zero. So where do we go from here on? Is this an opportunity? Are there hurdles and challenges that will continue? We'll open that up in just a bit.
In the corridors of power, both here in New Delhi and in Washington, D.C., buzzword for over a decade has been strategic partnership. But what gives this strategic partnership its teeth? That is India-U.S. Defense Framework Agreement that has been signed today. In fact, the agreement has been renewed in the presence of Defense Minister of India, Rajnath Singh, and his counterpart from United States, Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. Both the ministers have been taking part in ASEAN's Defense Ministers Meet Plus in Malaysia, where both the parties have signed this agreement. As far as this agreement is concerned, so it was signed for the very first time in 2005 and in fact was renewed in 2015. This is for the third time when both the countries have signed this agreement, which is basically not just an agreement but are the governing principles of the kind of cooperation and support that both the countries are looking from each other as far as defense sector is concerned. At a time when India-US relations have been seeing ups and lows, this is one positive development that has been reported today, where both the ministers agreed on this particular agreement and this document was signed. As far as this framework is concerned, so this gives some sort of agenda as far as defense procurement, interoperability and the joint exercises are concerned. This agreement gives you some sort of principle for the information sharing as both the countries are looking for some sort of support from each other.
So let's open this up. Lieutenant General D.P. Pandey, security analyst, is with us. Thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. How do you look at this 10-year defense framework? I mean, a lot of opportunities, but will there be a lot of challenges as well, given the history that we've seen with several deals that have been stuck somewhere on the way?
So, thank you for having me here. Firstly, let me tell, when we look at our PSUs, our systems and processes, we feel that they are very sluggish. But actually, when you deal with the US, when they call fast track, it is very, very slow track, right? So, especially in terms of procurement and finishing, or they will make commitments, sweeping commitments, but actually on ground, nothing much is delivered. It is not only with us, it is with most of the countries where they're signing such deals of defense deals, right? But then, of course, I look at the larger issue. It's not of what they have signed today. If you look at since Trump administration has come, and this point was talked about just previously by your field journalist reporter, who said that there have been ups and downs. On your channel only, with your other anchors and all, I have been talking and saying this part, that what Trump is speaking, he's speaking to all countries primarily to achieve certain degree of satisfy his own home constituency and all, and try and push better trade, better tariff, better deals and stuff like that. But with India, a couple of things have happened. Let's leave this deal aside. They have been continuing to engage in all other activities in terms of exercise, meeting, engagements, which are below the top level leadership engagement. So this is should convince the internal political hierarchy, our Indian population, that all is well when you're looking at engagement with America, right? What is happening? The trumpet is different. It is for a different purpose. But everything below the radar which is happening is quite. We have not talked about what Jaishankar did. He just met Julio Rubio a couple of days back,
Yeah.
So those meetings are happening, and the trade talks are happening, everything is happening. But this signing is very important in the sense they're talking of a decade-long partnership. There's a 21st century partnership. When you look at it, 2047 as our mission end objective, you look at this is nearly halfway through to that location, to that period. So while all our desires in terms of equipment which we solicit from US may not land on our shores, but definitely there is a talk engagement which is going on, which is very important for global perspectives, global eyeballs which are caught, that things are pretty fine between the two countries, and there is a strategic partnership. I will feel happy when that quad, which is required to happen in India, happens, and the president Trump comes and meets Modi, and there is some sort of a talk. I think then we'll see things passing, falling in place. But otherwise, I think signing of these deals, if we are able to have greater engagement and our strikers are able to come through in time, our Tejas engines which are required manifest on ground to us, they are able to achieve. But I don't think it will happen very quickly. Striker may come through, javelins may come through, your balance of attack helicopters may come through, even your MQ-9s may be able to come through. These are easier things which can manifest. But getting the Tejas engine, I think is a long haul, it will take some time. But yes, I think this should satisfy. Okay, the other part is language, Indo-Pacific language has come out very clearly. Languages matter. Till now, you are listening to Asia Pacific, but in this deal, they have used the word Indo-Pacific, which is very, very, very important. So nuances which come out on paper and signed are very important for us. Therefore, the centrality of India in Indo-Pacific as possibly a very important security partnership in the region, because our major enemy is not with America. Our competitor, our contestant, which will not look at our rise very, very happily or nicely, is our element which is in the north. And therefore, these structuring, these building blocks which are going for a larger cooperation is very important. the last I'll wind up is we lack technological support, innovations. That is missing. So while on one side we may want to lean on the Western systems to come while we develop our indigenized system, we can't have that void till the time our Atmanirbhar Bharat is actually able to roll out. So we require certain degree of leanings this thing, and these will come into effect when any engagement with even the Western competitor as Pakistan happens. I can assure you that there will be adequate support which will be there from the Americans in terms of forewarning, enabling, empowering. And this is very important. This shake hand which you're seeing on the screen is very, very important for us.
Also, do you think this is a part of a balancing act, so to say, that Delhi may be looking at? Because, we were talking about what Donald Trump has been doing and saying as far as trade and tariff goes. And Russia being a major aspect of it, Russia is a key partner for India as far as defense goes. So do you think in that context, having this particular framework with the United States is also a balancing act between United States and Russia, and that India making it clear that we need both?
So last 11 years or 12 years, since the time this government has come, it has started reducing reliance on Russian product. If you see where we are now, I don't have the figures with me, but somewhere around 50% we are getting from Russia. Today we are down to about 30-35%, and is likely to go down further. More so, our spread has been there. We have gone to France, we've gone to Israel, we have gone to so many other countries. Our spread of defense equipment production and procurement has actually expanded to multiple countries because as COVID is an example, as Ukraine, Russia is a conflict example, even Israel and Hamas conflict example, you realize that you just can't rely on one supply chain. While your Atmanirbhar Bharat indigenization process is getting strengthened over a period of time, we need to continue to have these pipelines to get defense and technology, defense equipment, but more importantly, technology from abroad till the time we actually are able to be actually self-sufficient, which is not going to happen in next. I don't look at minimum of about 2 to 3 decades are required to be actually somewhere about 70 to 80% self-reliant in terms of this thing. I mean, niche technology, which are chip-based, which are electromagnetic spectrum-based. I think we are about 5 decades out right now. There's the real people may political spectrum. Others may come out and say it is doable, nice, possible, but there are huge challenges.
And those challenges hopefully will be overcome when we do have such pacts with countries like the United States. And that's one step taking forward in our self-reliance story. But Lieutenant General Pandey, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us here with your perspective.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.